Hello, hello, it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie Part 1. It is Sunday, August 24th, 2025, and I'm so happy you are joining us this week. Mom and I have some really fun projects to share with you, so let's turn the camera around to the desktop and get started. All right, we are back in the annual catalog again, May 2025 through April 2026. I feel like I always use the new stuff, and then the annual catalog gets forgotten about. And so I'm glad that we're kind of turning back and showcasing some bundles in the annual catalog. And this week we are going to showcase the Coneflower Celebrations Bundle. And this is another one that I didn't have, but I am so lucky to have friends who are willing to share. So I borrowed Margot's bundle, the Coneflower Celebration, so I could make a project for you today. And I actually have a card that she made with the bundle to give to Claire for her birthday. So I've got that to share with you. But the Coneflower Celebration bundle, I am pairing with some 2025 to 2027 in colors because they are 15% off this month. Ending next Sunday, August 31st. So if you haven't already, shop and get your favorites. You can get the ink pads like Darling Duckling, the Stampin' Blends like Cloud Cover, ribbon, and designer paper. In fact, I am using the 2025 to 2027 in color designer paper for my project today. This comes in all the color families, but this is the only one that's on sale, and it has two different double-sided patterns. We get the flowers with the splatter and the leaves with the stripes on the back, and you're going to get multiple sheets in each of the 5 in colors, so very versatile there. Also going to use some of the in color flat pearls, some cloud cover ribbon. I started pulling everything together, and then I was like, oh yeah, this stuff is on sale, so what a great coincidence. Margot, I want to show you how she sorts her or keeps her dies. Because I don't do this personally, but she is very organized. I'm not sure what her color sticker here means, but she's got painter's tape with the name of the stamp set and the dies on the back, so she can see it on the front and the back. She also has a photocopy of her dies, so when she gets them, she writes on them. So this is the Coneflower Celebration dies. There are 10 dies total. This sheet has 5 dies, this sheet has 5 dies, and so she's written the individual count there, and then she has a scanner at home, and so she scans and prints out the sheets like real life size, so she knows exactly where to put her dies back on her sheet. That's something that I always struggle with, and I just throw them in the envelope. But Margot will know exactly if she's missing a die and where the die goes when she's putting them away, and I just think that's such great organization.
That's brilliant.
Now,
really brilliant.
We're going to talk in your video about some of the product changes. So I'm not going to discuss a lot of that, but I want to show you a picture because the new packaging that Stampin' Up! Has, we will have an image of the dies right on the packaging. So we don't need to necessarily do this. But maybe Margot will still like write on her sheet 5 out of 10 or whatever. But I love that the images are all going to be right there. And this does help you to know how to put them back on the sheet, because sometimes I don't even know how it's possible. It's like in a puzzle that just doesn't make sense. But anyway, I just wanted to show you how Margot keeps her dies. The die set here includes, it's really kind of interesting. So we've got this large stamp. These are shown at 80%. So this is actually the same size as this flower here and the butterfly die cuts here. So we've got this die, which you can see has like a fold in the middle. So it's meant to have like a little folded flower like this. And I'll show you, Margot created a card where she used that little fold on the front flower to have like a little bonus message. So here's her card. She used the sunflower embossing folder, die cut. This is Gorgeous Grape on Highland Heather, and then Old Olive on Old Olive cardstock. She used that embossing folder in the white in the background, but she just folded that in half and then has that little mini card on the front, which I thought is just so clever. So that's kind of a special die. Then we've got some detailed dies, like the flower with the petals, the leaves. And so you can kind of mix and match and create a detailed flower, as well as Kelly Atchison did on her card. She die cut the flower petals twice and then used the detail die to add some detail to that flower. incorporating some of the strawberry slush designer paper and also the stamped butterfly image. My last sample is from Julia Mazer, and she die cut and stamped the flower and then added the detail over it with a little sponging, which I thought was just absolutely gorgeous. She used some Darling Duckling, Old Olive, and Cloud Cover. She also incorporated the other little die in here that creates like a little open circle border. I was inspired by these cards to kind of do my own thing. One thing that I wanted to accomplish with my card idea is to create a card with these stamps that is horizontal, because I think the nature of the flower with the stem is to have a vertical card. And so I wanted to do a landscape card. So I am going to do a card using this die here, and I'm going to stamp the flower and actually cut it apart and make 2 flowers. I have some other pieces that are ready to go. And this is the designer paper. So I forgot to put the measurements on them, but I'll have them in the video description for you. These are 3 inches by 5.5 inches, and I couldn't decide which way I wanted my stripes to go, so you'll have to help me decide, Mom.
Oh, sure.
Then I've got the die cut piece, and this die cuts from a like 4 by 5.25 piece, so a quarter sheet of cardstock. Another one for the inside, and then this is 1.25 by 4, and this one is 3/4 by 2.25, I think, or maybe just 2 inches. So this card's gonna be super simple. If you can't tell from my voice, I'm starting to not feel great, and so I sat down to make this card, and I was like, I don't know. We're just gonna keep it simple, because that you can't go wrong with keeping it simple.
Is there a nap in your future today, Julie?
Absolutely, there is a nap. Maybe the whole afternoon will be a nap. I miss Sunday naps. That really should just be like a thing. Before I had kids, Sunday naps all the time. I used to have a nap on Sunday. I used to clean on Saturday, nap on Sunday, real lazy day. And then, you know, when you have kids, that just sort of changes the whole thing.
See, I had trouble placing that stamp to die cut, so I fussy cut it.
So here's the deal. Because it's meant to fold, only one side lines up because it's not symmetrical. And so we're going to, like, you saw me switch it. So I switched to the side that it fits. And then what you need to do is then take the other one and turn it over, and that is going to line up now to stamp our second flower.
Oh my gosh, Julie.
Yes. So if you were trying to line up the die with the like back side, then it's not gonna fit and it's not gonna line up right. So you just have to, well, that's why I die cut it ahead of time, because then I could stamp on each side that I needed to. I guess you could stamp one and die cut it, but then the other one, like to use the other side, it would be impossible to die cut a stamped image because of the way the die is.
Well, I learned something today.
Yay!
The other thing I learned is I don't know anything about coneflowers, because as we've discussed previously, neither one of us are gardeners. So, so they bloom midsummer to fall. So this is a perfect time for us to show this, because they're blooming right now.
Yes. This is a common flower, I think, in the Midwest, right?
It grows very well in the Midwest. It needs about 4 hours of sun per day. And they attract butterflies and bees. So they're good for the environment.
Makes sense then that we have a butterfly in there.
Yes. So, yeah, exactly. So I think I might try to grow some next year.
Oh, I love that. I feel like we've had some coneflowers maybe in flower beds before. over the years. It is kind of a common flower. And I was looking it up because I wanted to know what color to do.
Yes.
And it is very common in like pinks and like reds and purples. And so I just thought it was perfect because I feel like all these colors kind of represent. In some of the photos I saw, there were also yellow and there were also white. And so today I'm going to do one of these as a yellow flower and the other one as more of a white flower. So I'm going to kind of incorporate that. I love the brightness of these cards. I just think they're so beautiful and they really capture the coneflower. I'm doing more of a subtle kind of take with the cloud cover base, and with the white that I'm going to color, I'm using the Stampin' Blend. So for the one that is yellow, I'm using the Darling Duckling, or as Mom says, Daisy Duckling, which I just love. I just think that's so cute.
No, it's just, yeah. I have Daisy brains today, I think.
Well, Daisy is such a pretty flower and your favorite. And so it does sort of have the same kind of structure as a daisy with the center. I mean, a little bit different, but I think when you're coloring something like this, definitely Daisy on the brain. And the colors I'm using today, I think are really Daisy, like the light blue and the yellow and the white. I'm being very streaky with my coloring and just kind of leaving some white space in there too. Like I said, just kind of going a little more subtle with my coloring today. On the white flower, I'm going to have a yellow center. And so just bringing in that light, and then I'm going to dabble the dark. And the white petals, I want to leave white, but I kind of want to just bring out the petals and make them look a little more 3D. So I'm taking my cloud cover and I'm just gonna add some light streaks in here of cloud cover just to kind of like highlight and make those petals pop.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
On the yellow flower, I'm going to add a brown center with pecan pie, starting with the light, and then going back to dabble with the dark.
Dabble, I love that. It's another Juliaism.
Yes, I don't want it to be fully dark. I just sort of want to add some little touches there.
Nice.
Now if you want to, you could go back with your Wink of Stella, and I feel like I need to get a little more out of mine here. And you can add some Wink of Stella to your, I think this one is really starting to be empty. I'm not sure that it's coming across on camera at all, but I love a good little Wink of Stella to make your project a little extra special. Okay, for the inside, excuse me. I stamped Happy Belated Birthday while we were talking earlier. I love that this one has a belated birthday stamp in it because I'm always sending my birthday cards late. In fact, I missed Margot's birthday at the beginning of August, so I am making an extra card for her to say happy belated birthday. Is that weird to send her a card that I made using the stamps that I borrowed from her?
Not at all. She'll love it.
Okay. Well, she's watching now, but hopefully I'll get it to her before she watches. But I got Darling Duckling splatter. I'm going to put some on the designer paper just to kind of add a little more. And then also along the bottom of the card. So that was the Darling Duckling ink pad. And just a reminder, if you're looking at the In Color ink pads, we don't have a cloud cover ink pad. And so you can use the cloud cover reinker and an empty Stampin' Spot to make a cloud cover ink pad. They were having some issues, like it was a chemical reaction with the ink and the firm foam pads. And the little Stampin' Spots are a felt pad instead of a firm foam pad. And so the same issues aren't happening there. So if you want to make a cloud cover ink pad, you can get the empty Stampin' Spots and the ink refill, or there is a set of Stampin' Spots that has cloud cover already inked up and ready to go, and includes some other colors as well. So just a reminder on the cloud cover. I think sometimes I forget, or if you weren't really paying attention when the catalog came out, you might be wondering. All right, for our card, I have cloud cover for the card base, and we're going to have our designer paper across the center. So I need your help deciding here. Do we want our stripes to go long, or do we want them to go short? And I'm going to place the designer paper on the side and kind of arrange the flowers with our greeting kind of over here. So this is what it looks like with the stripes the short way. And this is what it looks like with the stripes the long way.
Ooh.
I know, it's so subtle.
Why don't you do it that way?
The long way?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So I'm going
They're both great.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's such a subtle difference, and most of it gets covered up, so it doesn't really matter that much. I had a piece that was cut already the long way, and so when I was cutting a second piece, I was like, oh, well, it could go either way. So that's on the inside. Then I'm going to add this to the center of the outside.
I like that you're doing the landscape.
Yeah. I think sometimes certain stamp sets just tend to lend themselves to cards that go one way or the other. And this is definitely one that I think you just kind of automatically want to make that portrait card.
Well, it's the stems. If you use the stems, you really do need.
Yeah. I debated on whether or not to add a stem to these. It would just like stick out a little bit on the bottom, and I don't know, I think ultimately it's just sort of implied that the stem is there. I don't think you need it. And Kelly's card, I think, is proof of that, because she also did not use a stem on her card.
Yeah.
No, I should have been a little better here. Okay, so I'm going to have one flower angling that way, one flower angling this way. I just took the dimensional off of here since it's going to overlap with the dimensional layer over there.
Nice. What a pretty card.
Thank you. I got our happy belated birthday. Originally, I was thinking I would use some linen thread, and then I was like, no, Julie, the ribbon is on sale. We got to use the ribbon and kind of bring that cloud cover color back into the card.
Okay.
But linen thread is a great option as well.
Yeah.
You like linen thread?
I love ribbon and the thread. I like it all. So I could go either way. But the ribbon's on sale, so for sure.
Yes. So I'm going to add that here, and I'm going to put a dimensional on one side and then some extra adhesive, because this flower is on dimensionals and maybe it needs a little more of a boost where I'm going to put the ribbon and the greeting. Okay, We're almost done, but you know what this card needs.
Oh, absolutely.
Some bling. I was debating, and I didn't finish gluing together my sample, but I was debating whether to use the cloud cover or the Darling Duckling.
Duckling.
Duckling? Oh.
Yeah.
How's that?
Beautiful.
All right. I love these flat gems, these flat pearls. They come in the 2025 to 2027 in colors, but they also come in the 2024 to 2026 in colors. Now, those aren't on sale, but these are until next Sunday. So make sure that you get all your favorite in color products while they're on sale, many of which I've used on my card today.
Yes. Good job.
Thank you. Well, tell me what you think about Coneflower Celebrations. Is this stamp set on your wish list, or maybe you already have it at home? I think you're going to really love Mom's project, so I hope that you'll join us over on her channel for part 2. But before we go, if you did enjoy today's video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and Mom's so you don't miss out on any future episodes of Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mom. Thank you so much for stamping with me today. We will see you all over on her channel for the live chat of her video.
See you in a bit.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Jay.